20 plus minutes. They do start 5 players, but in reality, they've got a group of 8 or 9 that they're really comfortable playing.
Guess who's back, 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 back again, again, again. Caitlyn's back, back, back. Tell a friend, friend, friend. What in the world is going on today? Okay, so of course I caught the Indiana Fever game where they destroyed. Okay, they got destroyed by the Golden State Valkyries at the Indiana Fever's home court as they welcomed back Caitlyn Clark, nonetheless. So of course, while I was watching that game, apparently the Connecticut Sun beat the Seattle Storm by 10 points. What in the world is going on today? This is not how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay? I'm gonna kick it to you like this. May I remind you, okay, this is the same team, okay, without Caitlyn Clark. And a lot of people are saying that, the Indiana Fever may perform better, they're more efficient offensively and defensively without Caitlyn Clark on the court, okay? The verdict is still out about that. We shall see, okay? But it's kind of like low-key proving the point, okay, when today's game, when they lost terribly by the Golden State Valkyries at the Indiana Fever's home court after they welcomed back Caitlyn Clark. You would think that with Caitlyn Clark being back, okay, she's back at it like a crack addict, she would be filled with, so much ambition, energy, and just like, just optimism, and like just full of, athletic strength, etc., in today's game, okay? She did show some athleticism. She did show some, sense of urgency. But at the same time, I guess it does make sense that her return back is a bit shaky. Because again, for this, first of all, like in the beginning of the season, like last month, she was out for 2 weeks, okay? And then for this this recent injury, it was a groin injury. She was out for like, what, 6, 7 games? That's crazy. Remember, guys, without Caitlyn Clark, remember when she was out, okay, for all those days and games, okay, that she missed due to that groin injury? The Indiana Fever was able to defeat, New York Liberty. They beat Las Vegas Aces for the first time since, 2020, 2021. It was crazy. And they defeated the Minnesota Lynx at the Minnesota Lynx Stadium, okay, for the Commissioner's Cup. The game concluded with the Valkyries having 80 points, whereas Indiana Fever only had 61 points. In the first quarter, the Valkyries was just down by 2 points. Okay, they were able to put up 21 points, whereas the Fever scored 23 points. The second quarter comes around, Golden State Valkyries scored 20 points. The Fever only scored 9 points. In the third quarter, okay, Golden State Valkyries scored 23 points, Indiana Fever scored 19 points. That's when we saw the Indiana Fever started to turn around. Okay, it was down by just 5 points. It was 50-55. I just knew that the Indiana Fever had this game in the bag. They were gonna make a huge comeback. Okay, obviously with Caitlyn Clark on their side, but to no avail, because in the fourth and final quarter, guys, the Valkyries scored 16 points and the freaking Fever only scored 10 points. Now let's break down and talk about each individual player statistics for each team. Let's start with the winners first, being the Golden State Valkyries. Kayla Thornton was doing her thing, okay? Kayla Thornton, actually, I think it was in the third quarter, Arian McDonald got a technical one foul, or either a technical foul or a flagrant one foul. I can't remember. But she got teed up, okay? Because she fouled Kayla Thornton. But Kayla Thornton in this game, guys, put up 18 points. She had 2 assists, 8 rebounds. Timmy Fagbenley, who used to play for the Indiana Fever, she put up 7 points, had 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Veronica Burton, okay? She put up 21 points, had 6 assists, 8 rebounds. Speaking of Veronica Burton, in the first 2 minutes of this game, okay, it was a hot mess. They're going back and forth. Nobody is scoring anything, okay? If it wasn't for Veronica Burton to break the ice, who knows? They probably would have been scoreless all game long, and that's for both teams. Tiffany Hayes put up 6 points, had 2 assists, 8 rebounds. Kate Martin only scored 5 points. It felt like she did more than that, but she had 0 assists, 2 rebounds. Caitlin Chin had 5 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Carla Late had 5 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Monique Billings had 5 points, 0 assists, 2 rebounds. Letitia Amihir had 4 points, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds. Now let's talk about the Indiana Fever, guys. Natasha Howard only put up 4 points, had 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston only had 6 points, had 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell put up 12 points, had 0 assists, 3 rebounds. Arian McDonald only had 7 points, had 4 assists, 1 rebound. Caitlyn Clark had 10 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, almost a double-double. Lexi Hall had 5 points, 1 assist, 9 rebounds. Sophie Cunningham had 3 points, 0 assists, and 3 rebounds. Again, they can't, listen, when you have Aaliyah Boston not getting 10 points, Kelsey Mitchell got 12, okay, I'm going to leave her alone, but Lexi Hall, along with, Caitlyn Clark just barely getting 10 points, you're going to lose, okay? Even Sophie Cunningham only had 3 points, 0 assists, 3 rebounds. Lexi Hall, 5 points. Sophie Cunningham, 3 points. No, you're going to lose. Michaela Timpson, guys, now shout out to her, okay? She is a current rookie. She is straight out of Georgia, okay? Michaela Timpson, she had a monster block, I believe, on Timmy Fagbenley in the first quarter, okay? She was able to put up 10 points, had 0 assists, 6 rebounds, and Damaris Dantas put up 4 points, had 0 assists, and 1 rebound. Talk about the overall game statistics, okay, for each team. So when it comes to points made in the paint, okay, the Golden State Valkyries was tied with the Indiana Fever. Both teams were both able to make 26 points in the paint. Okay, when it comes to fast break points, the Valkyries had 4, Fever had 10. When it comes to the biggest lead, the Golden State Valkyries had a 23-point lead, oh my goodness, over the Indiana Fever, whereas the Fever had a 9-point lead. Yes, guys, at one point in this game, the Indiana Fever was up by 9 points, and they just blew it all away. It was crazy. For bench points, okay, Golden State Valkyries made 23 points. The Fever scored 22 points. For team rebounds, Golden State Valkyries had 9, whereas the Fever had 5. Team turnovers, the Golden State Valkyries had 17, whereas the Fever had 15. When it comes to making points off of each turnover, okay, the Golden State Valkyries made 12 points, and the Indiana Fever made 6 points. Again, ESPN analysts have been criticizing Caitlyn Clark. They claim that, you know what, could the Indiana Fever possibly perhaps be more dangerous, be more efficient, and just be a better off overall team without Caitlyn Clark? And again, like, I ain't gonna lie, in today's game, Caitlyn Clark, just only putting up 10 points, okay? But honestly, if you look at Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall, Aaliyah Boston, they are huge culprits because, again, Caitlyn Clark was still able to outscore all of them, okay? So it's like, I see it, but at the same time, you would think that because Caitlyn Clark has returned back to the court, that would change the energy, okay, of the team, which it usually does. Her energy does affect the team, but overall, I ain't gonna lie, it's a bad look. Not just on Caitlyn Clark, okay, even though she scored 10 points, but the Indiana Fever as a whole. Guys, comment down below your thoughts, okay, on today's game with the Golden State Valkyries, okay, just destroying the Indiana Fever at their house or their home court, even though the Indiana Fever at one point in this game had a 9-point lead over the Golden State Valkyries. Guys, also comment down below your thoughts on Caitlyn Clark. Is the Indiana Fever more efficient with or without her? Comment down below.